great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of invasion. Welcome back. You didn't think I was going to be on the show today, did you? Because I said I wasn't going to be on the show, but here I am. Am I here? You know it. You can see my bald ass head in the back. I just got my hair cut yesterday. How's everybody doing? What the heck? There's a show. December 12th is today. This is episode 725. So that means we are 1/4 of the way to 3,000 episodes. Can you believe it? What the heck is going on? How is everybody? We're here in Vero Beach, and it's really nice. The ocean's right there. I'll be here for the next hour. Amani took the laboring oar and took Noor over to register for this USA softball thing that we're at. So luckily, I got off the hook, and so I thought that I would share some of my free time with all of you tonight. So I was working on some leads and things, people that want to hire us. Got some really interesting cases, a potential asylum case with FGM, a very interesting naturalization denial, lots of interesting things. But my focus now for the next hour will be on you guys. Let's go ahead and get started and talk to, is it Fonz or Phones? How do you say your name?
Hey, Jim, how you doing? Can
Great,
you hear me?
how are you doing? Yeah.
Pretty good. I had a question. So my wife, we're at the NVC. Well, we're past the NVC, waiting for an interview at the Juarez consulate now. My question is there any sort of window of opportunity to file a mandamus at the point we're waiting for an interview, or is that only applicable at the USCIS stage?
If there hasn't been an interview yet, the lawsuits, we're getting lots of motions to dismiss. So we're pretty much only filing lawsuits unless the delay's been really, really long, like longer than regular people in the same line.
Mm-hmm.
So like if everybody's getting their interview 18 months after documented and qualified and yours is 4 years, then we might file a lawsuit. But otherwise, we're waiting until there's an actual interview.
Okay, so it's pretty much pointless to file a lawsuit to kind of boost or expedite an interview at the consulate.
Which consulate are you talking about?
Juarez. Ciudad Juarez?
Oh yeah, for sure. They take their own sweet time.
Okay. All right. Well, that's
thanks
kind
for
of
the call.
Question. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye. Cooley, am I choppy at all? Is it delayed at all, or is everything okay? Okay, good. All right. Marcus is here. Hello, Marcus.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Here we go. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Wonderful. I this is the first time I've joined you. I just found your channel today, and I was extremely impressed.
Oh, great.
Could I ask a few questions in regards to?
Oh, sure.
Wonderful. Okay, so, and I don't exactly know what to say other than I'm 52. My girlfriend that I met on Facebook lives in England. I live in the United States. She and I are. I mean, I'm madly in love with her, and I want to get married someday. She has already come to America twice. Once for 70 days in 2023, and then she came a second time for 85 days in 2024, and she's scheduled to return January 15th of 2025 for around 84 days. So anyways, okay, so the first question is, what is the best way to do this? I mean, I'm a little foggy on if she can stay. I mean, we want to get married. We'd like to get married. Now she's coming on an Esta visa, so it looks like you can't get married on an Esta visa. You need to. Is that correct?
Right. Well, It's complicated.
Okay.
People do sometimes end up getting married while they're on Esta.
Okay.
And so if she comes with the immigrant intent on Esta, that's a problem, right? You're not supposed to use Esta to have immigrant intent and intend to come to the United States to get married and to never go back to England.
Okay.
If though at the end of the 80 days or 75 days, she says, boy, I'm really sick of being separated from Marcus, and you went ahead and got married, you could apply for adjustment here in the United States, and she could stay while that is all pending.
Oh, okay. So, okay. Okay, so in essence, we could get married towards the end of the ESTA visa, or that would not be advisable, so to speak.
So here's what I'll say. If someone comes to the United States from England and they get married in the first 60 days, that's going to cause lots of problems for the marriage and for them ever getting a green card. If they get married after the 60 days and you can prove that that wasn't their intent, like perhaps maybe the U.S. citizen proposed unexpectedly at the end of the trip and the person in England decided not to go back, person from England decided not to go back, we've had that case approved many, many times.
Okay.
It's all about their subjective intent, right? It's all about if they are planning and bringing their wedding dress and saying, I'm coming to stay forever, that is contrary to the purposes of ESTA. But if they decide because they're sick of being apart and maybe, they had a hard time coming back this third time or whatever, there are times where people decide just to get married and do it all here, and those cases can be approved.
Okay. It sounds a little bit of a gray scenario, sort of.
I would say that's true. I would say that's true.
Okay. Would there be how does for example, could we get married this time? Like, let's say she came and we got married, but she went back because, theoretically, we just wanted to be double safe and not worry about any troubles with any future things. So would it be advisable to get married and then send her back to her, country, England? And then could she then come back on a marriage visa, hypothetically?
For sure. We've definitely had cases like that too. That would also be another route. The only problem is at that point she's married to a US citizen. They might not let her come back on ESTA. They might revoke her ESTA because she's married to a US citizen. So that's certainly possible. Yeah.
So in essence, so if she can't come back on an ESTA at that point, would we just have to wait till her marriage visa is approved, so to speak?
Exactly. And that could take like 2 years.
Okay. So the only option is for her kind of to spur of the moment to say, yeah, I'd like to get married. I can't bear the thought of being away.
There's lots of options.
Okay.
There's lots of options. You could do a fiance case right now. That's one option. Another option is to do the marriage and then have her go back to England and consular process. And then there's the first one that we talked about, which would be if you proposed sort of unexpectedly and decided to get married and proceed to file for her, that would be the third route. Now, I'm surprised how my question that I wanted to ask you was, how long ago did she leave on her last visit?
She left August the 1st. So when she comes back, she will have been gone 5.5 months.
Okay, good. Okay, they might give her a little bit of trouble because she keeps coming back. Has she mentioned you at all to them?
Yes. She says she's coming to visit her boyfriend. Yeah, she
Perfect.
the first time was a little tricky. It's kind of funny. She came to stay with me for 70 days and they said, well, this is strange. You've never met this guy, but we talked on the telephone daily for 8 hours, sometimes a day. And, we were in love, and she came and they said, okay, we're going to let you in. She even got put in a room, in New York, and then the second time we did a direct flight into Cincinnati, Kentucky airport, and she went right through. They didn't. I mean, they did ask a few questions, but it was much smoother because she had already been here and she was just returning to visit. I mean, how often can she come on an ESTA visa?
The last part broke up. What'd you say? What was the question?
How often can she come to visit on an ESTA visa?
I would say never more than twice in a year, and even that's sort of pushing it.
Okay. So we've done once per year in 2023. Once 2024 was once. So this year, this will be the first visa. So theoretically, she could do 2 visits potentially, but one is pretty much no problem. Is that
Thanks, Marcus. See you, buddy. Good luck.
okay? Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
All right. Hey, Huli, I'm getting all my audio and video sort of delayed, so I'm going to switch over to the cellular, see if that's better. Do you want to come on and entertain the troops while I switch over?
Hi,
Is that all
everyone.
right?
Oh, it's fine for me.
Let me see how this goes.
Okay, will do. Yeah, he had a little bit of a delay of a 3 seconds delay. So, well, I want to approach everyone that have this free time to let you know when you call our office, keep in mind that you're reaching us to help you with your immigration case. If you're just looking for guidance, join here on the show. Click on the link that is the StreamYard link that is posted on the chat so you can participate and talk to Jim so he can provide you that advice. And he's back. That was fast.
It was fast, and I think it's better. It sounds a lot better. Hopefully, this will cure things on my end. Thanks, Huli.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right. Let's go to Teresa. Hi, Teresa. You're on mute. You're on mute, sweetheart.
There. Can you
There
hear me
you go.
now?
How you doing?
Oh, I'm seeing better days. I had applied for a K1. We got turned down because I was going through cancer. I couldn't make the trip to see the face to face. When I was cleared of that, I made the trip last December. But while I was there, I got the paper wanting more evidence. So I turned in all the pictures and everything and said, hey, I was there. But they said, since I wasn't there beforehand that I applied, they refused it. So I redid the K1 again, and used all the info. Well, he just had his interview on the 10th. They said about our age difference and questioned if his family agreed to it. And he said, yes, we had like a little get together, a reception, not a reception, but, like for marriage, where they
Sure.
accept me. Then she questioned, well, there's no pictures of his mother giving me a gift. I didn't know that was a big thing. So they said that he was uneligible. They're going to send the case back to NVC and back to the Department of State.
Yeah.
So that is a flat no, correct? They did not give him back his passport.
Mm-hmm. What embassy is this?
Ghana.
And how did you meet this fella?
I met him through Facebook online with friends.
And
We've been talking for 3 years.
mm-hmm.
We did the 2 K1s.
Yes, ma'am. And when you, I'm sorry about the cancer. Everything's okay with that? You're better?
Yeah. Remission,
Good.
yeah.
Good,
Yeah.
I'm glad. So before you filed the K1, had you and he met face to face?
Not the first time, no, because I was going through all the cancer treatments. I had the doctor even saying that my immune system was low and I couldn't go.
So
I
for the
couldn't
first,
take a fever shot because
yes,
of
ma'am.
my immune system.
Sure. So for the first fiance case, it was one of those situations where the people are asking for an exception to the rule that they have to have seen each other in the last 2 years.
Correct.
Okay, so that was an easy denial. Those almost never get approved.
Right.
Even with health concerns, even with cancer, they're not going to approve that. Okay, so then you went over and met him face to face, and then you filed another fiance case, and then he just had his interview on that in Ghana, and they refused it.
Correct. Said he was ineligible. And he said the only questions they asked him was about our age gap difference
Which is
and
how
one of
much, Teresa?
25
25.
years. He's young. Yeah. And he told him, he said, age does not matter to him. It's just a number. You know, I had a great time when I was over there. We got along great. Everything was perfect. And we talk on the phone, we text, we do WhatsApp, videos.
So if you had, well, I mean, you know, they think he's just marrying you to get a green card, right? That's what they think. Oh, you're on mute now. I
Yeah,
can't.
that's what he said.
Yeah. So, if you had come to me, Teresa, after the first denial, I would have told you,
Yeah.
don't waste your time with another fiance case. I would have told you to go ahead and get married.
I think you told me that because I called you.
Oh, yeah.
And I
That's
thought,
usually what
well,
I say.
we go ahead and do the K1 one more time.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
So now ha- I would like to talk to you about financing and stuff to get you
Okay.
to, because I want to get this done before Trump comes into office. I watched your videos and saying,
Yeah.
you know, the cutoff January the 20th.
Well, yeah,
So
but most of this is going to be processed by the Trump people. Most of it. I mean, even if we got, I mean, one, you'd have to get married. I'm not doing a fiance case. We're not wasting our time with that again. So
right,
number
I'm
one,
filling out the visa right now to go. I'm going to go 2 days after Christmas.
oh, okay. Well,
And
why
then I'm
don't you?
planning on being back, and I want to get this filed before
Okay. That,
Trump
yeah.
takes office.
Okay. Why don't you email me and then say I'm Teresa. I was on the show with Jim around the 15-minute mark on Thursday, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. Well, thank
Thanks,
you.
Teresa. Have a good day.
Too.
All right. All right. Well, we've certainly had bigger age gaps than that to get approved, but it's always easier to get an age gap case approved at USCIS than it is at the embassies because they're just very suspicious. Buick, are you there? Hello.
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, hi Jim. Thank you so much for doing this pop-up show.
Of course.
I'm trying to help a friend. So he has a pending I-589, right? Asylum.
Uh-huh. Who is this?
For
This is a friend?
yeah, it's a friend for about he's had 6 years,
6-year wait.
and it's pending. Yeah. But his dad passed away this morning.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and he's, just it's a very difficult situation. So he said there's some sort of emergency travel document.
Mhm.
How much time does it take? And like, what are the risks with,
Well, of course.
like
So,
Kansas,
what country are we talking about?
Russia?
Oh, geez, and he wants to go back to Russia?
It's, he, on the one hand, it's very risky, and he was persecuted for, there were, like for race, religion, lots of stuff. And on the other hand, he's gonna regret if he doesn't, see his father. He's gonna regret about it his whole life, and it's very difficult. He's trying to just, to decide what's best.
Here are the things that I know. Number one, I know that it's really, really hard to lose your dad. My dad died 3 years ago on December 2nd. And of course, I think about him every day. And of course, I got to be there with him a couple days before he died, and it's different, right? So I understand. I'm just going to lay out facts, and then you can have him watch this, and then he can decide what he wants to do. There is something called advance parole. He could ask for advance parole. It's not going to be fast. It's probably going to be a fight, and it probably is going to be 6 to 9 months before he's able to go on advance parole, like with approval.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So even if he applied tomorrow, and even if he started beating the bushes, and even if he called his U.S. senator and they called USCIS, you're still talking 3, 4, 6 months, right?
Okay.
So that's one thing I know. Another thing I know is that if he goes back to Russia, even under these circumstances, I believe that his asylum case would be over. Right.
Oh.
So I think that, obviously he's saying that he's going to be persecuted for all those reasons that you mentioned if he goes back to Russia. And even with the death of a father, I think, and even if Joe Biden's team were in place for another 4 years, I think that would be fatal to his asylum case. But given the fact that Trump is coming into office probably before our boy tries to come back,
Right.
I think the asylum case is over, and he's not going to get let back into the United States.
Wow.
So, with all that being a backdrop, I mean, I'm not this guy's father, but if I'm his dad, I would say, I love you. I mean, I know
Right.
he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
I love you, son, but your future is not here. Your
Of
future is
course.
there. And
Of course.
but obviously that's easy for me to say.
Mm-hmm. Right. And in the long term, I think his girlfriend has a green card and she's
Yeah.
supposed to get her passport like 27, 28. Not sure. Like if not sure if there's a visa for green card for spouses of green card holders, or is it better just to wait until they're not married yet, but there was just,
So he entered with inspection, like he had a visa, and then he filed for
yeah,
asylum.
visa, yes.
Okay, and it's been pending for 6 years,
Yeah.
and it's still at the asylum office, not at the immigration office.
I think asylum, yeah.
Yeah. Um. So one thing to think about is, I mean, if so you're saying she has her citizenship interview at the end of this month?
No. She is a green card holder and she will get her passport in 27, I mean year 2027 or
Oh,
2028, not sure exactly.
why they were saying the 27th or 28th of December. Okay. Okay, so that's a long wait for that.
Right.
Um,
But with green card, I imagine it's even right, the backlog, right?
yeah, it's a
Oh,
4-year wait. Yeah.
wow.
It's a 4-year wait, and there's a debate as to whether or not he's still in status so as to be eligible to adjust. If he applied for asylum,
Oh,
if he applied for
right.
asylum before he was out of status, and
Yeah, I don't even know.
yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, I
Mm.
could talk to him if you want, but there's lots of moving parts.
Right.
But the
Mm-hmm.
one thing I do know is don't leave.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, I'm
Thank
just
you.
gonna have him. Yeah, watch this.
For
Thank you
sure.
so much. Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
take care.
Bye. Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, a lot of sad stuff today, people. A lot of sad stuff today, people. Let's talk to Ashraf. Ashraf, you're not driving, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm parking. I'm in parking
How are
time.
you? Great.
I'm good. Thanks, Jim, for taking my call. So
Sure, buddy.
I'm talking regarding about my daughter. So my daughter is a U.S. citizen, and she's a full-time student, and
Okay.
she to get married to another F1 student who is in different city. Like,
Who is, what'd you say?
he is a full-time student also, but
Okay.
in Chicago, Illinois. Two different states, two different cities. So my question is, do you recommend them to get married now and then file before Trump takes over? Otherwise, their plan was to get married in summer of 2025. And his F1 is expiring or completing in March of 2026.
You mean he's going to graduate in March of 2026?
Yes, that's correct.
I don't see any real reason to accelerate it. I think marriage cases are going to continue. I think maybe, I mean, I wouldn't rush on a case like that where he has status and he's safe for now. I think, generally, do I think there's going to be an overall slowdown? Yes, I do. So I think there's value in filing sooner rather than later just because everything's going to be slower. But I don't think in this particular case that he needs to be that worried about what they're going to be doing going away. I don't think that's what they're going to be focusing on. I don't think they're going to be focusing on marriage cases. I think USCIS is going to get gutted and things are going to happen a lot slower, but the right of her to sponsor him, I believe, is going to continue for a while.
Okay. So the original plan is for them to travel to India, get them married over there, come back, and then register the marriage here in United States, and then
Yeah.
file for green card.
So I hate that plan. I hate that plan. The
Okay.
reason I hate that plan is because, well, first of all, is his F1 stamp in his passport valid or is it expired?
No, it is valid.
Okay. So I hate that plan because once he comes back, he's the spouse of a U.S. citizen, and they're going to think he's coming for a green card. So they might not let him come back in.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be too cute with marriage back home. I would if they want to get started, I'd file here. If they are they already planning a big wedding in India in 2025?
Yeah, they had some of those kind of thoughts though.
Yeah. So here's how I would frame it differently. This is what I would do if I were them. I would go ahead and get married now. I
Mhm.
would file for the green. I mean, as long as they have like a long history together and it's a legit relationship and they can prove up the case, I would go ahead and get married now. I would file, and then I would file for advance parole, which is permission for him to leave and come back.
Okay.
And then I think that hopefully they'll get advance parole maybe in the summer, maybe by the summer, maybe not. So I wouldn't plan any big weddings out of the country until I had his status nailed down a whole lot better than just an F1 visa holder, if that makes sense.
Oh, perfect. So how does this play out if he doesn't get his green card by end of March of 2026 until he graduates? How can he maintain his status after that?
Well, if she's a U.S. citizen and she's filed for him, he can stay the whole time it's pending, and by then, hopefully, he'd have a work card. Also, he could get OPT and keep in his studies. He
Okay.
could work on OPT, so he has a lot of options. He's not the particular kind of person that I'm really worried about right now.
Okay. So having in two different cities does not make kind of why they are living in two different states.
No, well, okay. So that you're right. You did say that earlier. So if they get married tomorrow, they're going to keep living in different states. And if they get married, and like, are they going to, if they got married tomorrow, are you saying that they wouldn't really live together until they went back home to India to get married?
No, they were together in India for a couple of years, and then they came. She was here, and then he followed her, but they got admission to in two different universities. So that's why they are living separately now. But they plan to live together after they get graduated, and both of them are graduating in 2025, 26.
So this is a great example of what happens a lot in fiance cases or soon to be married cases, and that is there's a lot of competing interest, right? So let's talk about all the competing interest proposed by the scenario that you just gave me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one interest is to get him his status eventually and get it all cleaned up and get him a green card. That's one. One is for them to get their degrees and go to their respective universities. One is to have a big marriage at some point back home in the
Mm-hmm.
old country, right? So, and then one is to not necessarily live together right away, live together later, but then one is to live together later. So, what I say to people, if I were talking to your daughter and her fiance, is you can pick some of these things, but you can't pick all of them, right? So if you want to get started, but you're not going to live together for a while, that's sort of silly because that I think is just starting the case off wrong and setting yourself up for trouble. So what I would say is they have to figure out what's the most important thing. Like I would take all those things I just mentioned, put them on a list, and then figure out if they're on the same page as to what's the most important. Immigration wise, we can figure out most of it, but in these scenarios, oftentimes people want to have every option open to them, and they don't. They don't.
So, according to you, which one is most important for them? Live together or file for the green card right after the marriage? Or
Well, I mean, we could file. You could file for a green card without living together, but I think that I'd want a plan for pretty quickly moving in together, right? So, if they're not going to be done with school for another year and a half,
yeah,
I mean, what they could do is like get married in October or November
uh-huh.
and then start the process. So, and then, I mean, do they have to live apart all that time, all the way up until they graduate? Is that the plan?
Right now that is what it is. Otherwise, he has to transfer his credits to some college in California
Yeah.
and then move over here.
What are the two cities that they're in?
One is in Chicago, and my daughter is in Santa Clara, California.
Yeah, so that's really far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would say have them watch this, talk to them, and then maybe we can talk some more. But I think they're going to have to pick what they want to do. Anything's possible. We can figure it all out. It's just they have to make a decision.
Got it. And how soon will he get his EAD once we file the green card along with the 485?
Nobody really knows. I mean, if Kamala Harris got elected, I would say probably 3 or 4 months. Nobody knows what's going to happen after that. After January 20th, I would say probably the same kind of things, but we're just going to have to wait and see how much delay they bake into things. They want to have everything investigated for fraud before they give out any benefit. So it's hard to say.
Perfect. Thanks, Jim. And how do I reach out to you if I need to?
Sure. Just email us, info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. It's right there on the bottom of the screen.
Got it. Okay.
Bye,
Thank
Ashraf. See you, buddy. Yeah, for sure. All right. There he goes. All right. All right. Saran is here. Hi, Saran.
Hi,
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. What's up?
I have a question about my husband paper. So I filed it in March of this year, and I went to Guinea for 4 months. I stayed there and I came back. I'm pregnant. So now I applied for expedite request, and then they called me, but I did not answer the phone. And then they said time. So it's like a month now. So do you think should I call them or not? And then anytime I go to my doctor appointment, they always tell me to apply for.
Apply for expedite?
No, to apply for food stamp. But I know last year, 2017, whatever, when Trump was in the office, he
Yep.
made that as a public charge. So it's
Yeah.
like that's something I'm like,
Well, I mean, I think you got to take care of your baby and take care of you. I get that. I think that public charge is coming back in full force, and this is going to be something they're going to use to maybe keep him from coming in the future. So maybe a little bit of short-term WIC or something like that would be okay, but I don't think it's something long-term that you want to plan. As far as expediting, I don't know how much of this show you've watched, but like, I don't believe they expedite most cases in which it's requested. I would bet that 98% of expedite requests, even if somebody's got a dying mother or a dying wife, they don't grant them. And even when they say they're going to grant them, you still have to get through USCIS and the National Visa Center and the embassy. So what I'm here to say is he's not coming anytime soon. So you can bang your head on the wall and try to expedite it, but I don't think it's going to happen.
okay, so don't apply for the food stamp.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that maybe for a little bit apply for food stamps, but I think long term it might cause you problems. You can get a co-sponsor, but does he have a degree that lets him work? Like, does he have a good skill?
Yeah, he have his bachelor, and then he actually trying to go to Morocco right now and get his master. But because of I put green card for him, and then I don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the things you'd have to demonstrate is that he won't become a public charge because he's got this degree or these degrees, and he's going to be able to earn money once he gets here. But I do think they punish people that don't have a lot of money, and I do think they punish people under Trump. They will punish people for getting food stamps and things like that. So I think if you're going to do it, I wouldn't plan on doing it for too long. And I would say that on the back end, like if you just filed the I-130, you're not going to need to worry about the support stuff for another 6, 8, 9, 10 months. But at that point, you're probably going to want to have a job and be able to demonstrate that you can help
I mean,
support.
I work at school. I just graduated with my bachelor in social work, so I work at school.
Okay, good.
At full time sub. So
like I said, I want you to take care of you. I want you to take care of your child, but I'd be worried about doing it too long term on food stamps. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, I haven't applied for it because I know even it won't affect me right now. Maybe later on. I don't know.
Thanks, Ron. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
See ya. All right, Melba's here. Hello, Melba.
Hello, how are you? Can you hear me?
I can. How you doing?
Hey, I'm okay. Thank you, Jim. Okay, so basically, to make a long story short, I lived in the United States since I was 3. Um, when I was 23, due to a drug problem, I was convicted of, in a period of time, I was convicted of 17 misdemeanors. So I was detained. I lost my cancellation of removal. I was badly represented. I should have asked for another lawyer. I don't know. I never thought that I would be deported. Okay, so I appealed it. Out of the three judges, only one said yes, the two said no. So I ended up coming back to Colombia. It's been 10 years now. It's been 11. They banned me for 10 years. What
Sure.
can I do? What can I do? I want to go home. I want to go home. I've been sober now for 11 years and 6 months, and I want to go home.
Congratulations on being sober for 10 and a
Thank,
half, 11 years. That's quite an accomplishment, and I'm glad you were able to turn things around.
thank you.
When I talk to people who get deported, I always start with, what is your path back to the United States? So pretend you've never been to the United States before. You still need a way to come back. In other words, did you have a green card at some point? Well, for your cancellation, was it?
Let me explain. I came into the United States legally.
Yeah, but did you have 42A? Were you going for 42A cancellation or 42B? Did you have a green card or no?
I had yeah, my resident card, yeah.
How did you get that?
I got that because first my grandfather came to Colombia. From Colombia, migrated to the United States. After a year, he was sponsored by my dad. No, my dad. He asked for my dad to come into the country, so my dad came into the country. Me and my mom stayed behind. A year later, me and my mom went to the United States legally.
Got it. So let's pretend you've never been here and you don't have that deportation order, right? Let's pretend.
Okay.
You're just like everybody else in the whole world who doesn't have a visa to the United States. So you need a new way to come to the United States, right? So you can't come. I mean, your dad could file for you if he's alive.
I'm also married for 22 years to a citizen. My daughters are citizens. My mother, my whole family.
So you're married to a U.S. citizen?
Yes. My daughters are citizens.
And they're over 21?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
My mother's a citizen.
Okay. That's helpful. So has anybody filed an I-130 petition for you?
No.
Okay. So these are the steps that will probably have to happen, right? So the first thing is we'd have to figure out who's best to sponsor Melba. Would it be a 21-year-old kid or would it be a spouse? And to me, I would say that goes on whether the marriage is real strong and whether things are good with you and your spouse and whether your spouse has come to see you, right? If we can show a good, solid relationship, then we would do that. But either one of them, any of them could sponsor you, right?
Right.
That's sort of the easy part. That's just, hey, this is Melba's their mom. Melba's on the birth certificate. Melba raised these girls.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to sponsor it. I don't really care. That's sort of, like I said, the easy part. That should have been filed a long time ago, right? Even before your 10 years were up. But, I always say the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The next best time is today. So so step one, we figure out who's sponsoring mom or wife for a green card. So then you file the I-130 petition. That's going to take 14, 15 months, maybe longer. Then we're going to start the National Visa Center and get that process started. And we're going to go all the way till we get to the embassy. And then when you show up at the embassy, they're going to say, Melba, you got deported.
In a bliss. I forget the word. I can't say it.
Inadmissible.
Inadmissible. Yes.
You got it. So then you're going to show up at the embassy and you're going to know going in, your heart's going to say, oh, I really hope I get my visa today, but you're not going to get your visa. They're going to refuse it. And they're going to say you need a waiver. You might need a 601 waiver. You might need a 212 waiver. Those are two different waivers, right? So in order to get a waiver, we're going to have to demonstrate that there's an extreme hardship on the part of your spouse or your parents. Your kids don't count that much. But like if mom is sick and dying or dad is sick and dying or there's some kind of health issues that they really need Melba here to help take care of them, it's a hard sell. This is not going to be an easy case to win. It's going to be hard. But they assume that everybody who has their daughter kicked out of the United States and stuck in Colombia. They assume that everybody like that has hardship. So we have to prove a lot more hardship. So if mom has some kind of health issues or dad does,
Okay.
we're probably going to need waivers for lots of different things. I mean, so what I would, if I were your lawyer, what I would do is I would do a full Freedom of Information Act request to get your entire deportation file. I would have probably your husband file the I-130, and then I would get to work now on setting up the waiver, which we're not going to need for 2 years from now. But we would start laying the factual groundwork for it by having people see counselors or doctors to demonstrate the hardship that's going to happen either to your husband or your mom or your dad.
Now, I don't know if this would help. Um, it was overlooked. Like I said, I was badly represented. My daughter at the time, my oldest, she was having a very hard time because of the fact that I was detained and because I was facing deportation. She was seeing a therapist. The therapist wrote a very long, um, evaluation that she needs her mom. She was acting up. Anyway, I got deported, and she ended up ODing like 3 months after I got to Colombia. I don't know if that would help. People were telling me at the time that I should have done something when that happened, but I wasn't. I wasn't thinking about that. My daughter just died. Like I wasn't trying to file anything. Reason why I'm saying this, I don't know if that would help. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I just felt like I should maybe add that.
No, I think that's a great ad, and I mean, obviously, it's tragic that she died. I'm sorry, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
glad you shared that, but I'm very, very sorry.
It's okay.
If my daughter overdosed, I would want to jump off a bridge. So I'm sorry that that happened.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's okay. It's okay.
and was that a child that you had with your husband?
Yes, of course.
So it was his. So I would say, Melba, that if you had a good lawyer and they started working with your husband now to work on the waiver stuff that you're going to need 2 years from now, I would say that it's a tough road back. It's a tough road back. The chances are certainly not a slam dunk, but I think we could put together the strongest case possible to
Okay.
try to argue that you get that waiver. But I'm talking, I mean, this is going to be like a 4 or 5 year process.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this. I don't know if I should ask because I'm live. Is there any way of getting into the United States and then applying for something? No. I mean,
You,
the reason why I say that is because other people, like when they go, they they get into the country and then they apply for something and it gets approved. But not me because I'm different because I've already been there. Correct?
yeah. Yep. That would be fatal to your chances of staying here long term. I think you just got to wait.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no. I am because no. Um. So okay, okay. I think I understand what you're saying, what you said to me. So what can we do now? How can I speak with you after the show? How can we get this thing going? Because I would really want to continue
For
with
sure. So right now I'm just sad thinking about your situation. I'm
I
sorry.
know. And you know what? I should have, Jim. I should have waited. I should have stayed detained and went straight to Supreme Court. And I
It's a
believe that I would have won.
it's a tough case. I mean, I know you're mad at your lawyer, but 17 convictions for misdemeanors, that's a lot. So
That's a lot. I mean, and they were all petty. They were all like petty larceny, trespassing. It was nothing major, and I never sold drugs, nothing like that.
yeah.
Possessions, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So Melba, that's my email right there, info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. If you email and say, hey, I'm Melba, I was on the show, we'll follow up with you tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you
All right.
very much, Jen, for
Thanks for
taking
the
the
call.
time out.
Sure, for sure.
Okay, thank you. Be blessed.
Yep. Good night. Oh man, that makes me sad. What a nice lady. And what an amazing turnaround of her life. Can you imagine getting kicked out of the United States because you're addicted to drugs, and then your daughter overdoses, and then you're sort of all by yourself in Colombia? God bless her. Man, oh man. Hey, I have something to cheer us up. Let me share my screen. Monty just sent over a cool picture. What's this? Let's see. Does this work? Can you guys see that? That's Noor. That's the Florida sunset over the field. That's a pretty cool picture, I think. Isn't that cool? All right. Let's go to Gigi. Hi, Gigi.
Hello, can I go off camera, please?
Of course. How you doing, bud?
I'm good. Thanks for your service to humanity, Jim. I have a couple of questions. Let me just. I'm acting on behalf of a friend, though. My first question is his filed on a Vawa case. The expedited service, does it apply in the Vawa case?
What about the Vawa case? I missed the part about service.
Do Vawa cases have expedited service just like the other ones?
No.
Okay.
No, there's a backlog.
Okay. And so, and the other one has to do with the EADs for Vawa. How long normally does it take?
You mean after they file?
Yes, please.
I don't know. I don't really pay attention to that much. I don't pay attention to EADs. I would say probably 2 years, but I don't know.
But 2 years for Vawa EAD. Okay. The other question has to do with he filed the Vawa case recently, just November of 2024, after divorcing in October 2023.
Okay.
However, he made an error on the divorce that he filed. He used for the case had a letter omission in the name of the spouse that he has filed the case. There was a small omission of the name of the spouse, just one letter, and then also the address of the spouse was wrong from the divorce. Does he have to do a new divorce, or this shouldn't be a problem at all?
You're saying that the divorce decree has her name spelled wrong?
Yes, please. Just one letter was missed out, an S was omitted. One letter was omitted.
I think I would get that fixed.
Okay.
I think I'd get that fixed because I want that for the rest of my life.
Okay.
And because I think there's a 20% chance USCIS might ask for it.
Okay. My last question before I get off, for others to also, she divorced in 2023, and as the Vawa case is pending, is he able to marry his fiancée that has been going out for a year now?
Is it a U.S. citizen?
Yes, please.
So this is an example of somebody demonstrating that they're desperate to stay in the United States.
Okay.
This is not a good plan. This is what you call a shotgun approach instead of a laser approach. So instead of thinking strategically and doing the right thing, they're just throwing everything at USCIS and overwhelming them with so much stuff. Was there an I-130 on file with the old spouse?
Yes, please.
So there was an I-130, then the 360. Now, oh, hey, wait a minute. Forget all that. Now I got a new I-130. It's a dumb approach.
Okay. So, I mean, then he should cancel.
Especially, is my brother from Nigeria?
No, from Ghana.
Nigeria's little brother called Ghana. Yeah. So,
from Ghana.
So,
last question, Jim. Okay, so this young brother, got admission for graduate school in spring 2025. He's got it for a program in 2025. However, because he's currently on B1, the school was trying to see if he can do adjustment of status for him. And he's telling them he got a Vawa case pending. So he doesn't know how to handle adjustment of status with the school.
Okay, now I'm definitely getting off the phone because now you're throwing in a whole other. This guy needs to stop. Stop doing things. Pick one approach. Okay, so here's what we've talked about. I-130 through spouse. Divorce that bitch. File an I-360. Then, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Divorce her.
No,
file an I-360. Then we get married to girlfriend number 2. And oh, by the way, I'm going to get a B1 and I'm going to get the school to sponsor me for a green card. Are you kidding me?
That's a lot to unpack, right?
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack. It's, we make a joke around here about law school exam questions. This is worse than a law school exam question because there's no right answer. It's just the guy just doing everything he can.
I've been asking him to join the program all the time. I said when I get the link, I send him to join so that he can also listen to it. He's always giving excuses. Okay,
All right,
that's good.
thanks. See you, buddy.
All right.
Bye. All right, let's talk to Ben. Hi, Ben.
Oh, how you doing this afternoon, Jim? Or actually
buddy.
this
How you
evening,
doing?
isn't it? Running the whole range of questions here tonight, it sounds like.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
I just had a quick question on the I-134 that I'm filling out right now. On the initial I-129F application, we'd written my fiance's place of birth was the small town which she was born in. However, we got her official birth certificate just recently, around the time that we filled in the DS-160. And on the birth certificate, it says her birthplace is the larger city next, like the village is kind of a suburb of this city essentially, and so it just gives the city name as the district name where she was born. So we put that on that city name on the DS-160, and I'm planning on doing that on the I-130 as well. Is that advisable?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then we can just explain that essentially it's the town that we put on the I-129F is just a part of that city essentially.
Mm-hmm.
If it comes up during the interview.
Yep.
We don't need to contact them for a change on the form or anything?
Nope.
Okay. And the other thing on that was on the assets and income section of the I-134, I am an independent contractor. I'm well above the poverty thing. I have 2 years worth of deposits into my account that I can show regularly from the same clients, and I have my 1099s and my tax transcripts and returns for the last 3 years. Is that sufficient, or would I need to have a co-sponsor in this situation still?
Typically what we do, and Ben, again, the great thing about owning a law firm is I don't have to worry about affidavits of support and all that financial stuff because I hate it. But I know that what we do for self-employed people, what we usually do is we fill out all the stuff and then we get an accountant, your accountant, CPA or whoever, to verify like the tax returns and verify the income, and usually that's been enough.
Okay.
Especially on a fiance case. They're a whole lot easier on affidavit support on a fiance case than they are on a spouse case.
Okay, and if I'm well above the income threshold, do I need to worry about listing assets like a retirement account or checking or savings accounts?
No.
Okay, that's all. Thank you very much. Have a great
See
night.
you, Ben. All right. Good New Parents is here. It looks like they're watching the weather. Hello? Good New Parents GC, are you there? It looks like you went to black. I don't know.
I'm here.
Oh, how you doing?
I'm good. So I feel good.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear. Good news, Jim.
Yes.
My parents got their green card.
Great.
Thank God. I had a few minor setbacks, and I would like to share because I don't know if anybody's going through the same thing I did.
Oh, great. I appreciate that.
I paid the fee a month in advance. They entered the country a month and a half later, almost.
Well, wait, can we start at the very beginning? When did you file for them?
I filed January 29, 2023.
And when did USCIS approve their I-130s?
January 18, 2024.
So a year.
Yeah.
And then National Visa Center?
National Visa Center was a consular processing case, yes.
Okay, and then what embassy?
Guyana.
Oh, my wife was just talking to Guyana family today. Okay, so when was it documented qualified, and when was their interview?
I can't remember the exact date, but they had their interview sometime in May.
Okay.
And I paid the LS fee on June 7th, and they entered I think July 28th.
Oh, great. Okay, cool.
July 28th. And I had a minor setback where my parent got tested for TB.
Oh.
Yeah, and it went to the state. Well, USCIS sent a message to my health department. My health department contacted me. We got the handle of it. However, my parent was not contagious, so that was the good news. It was just a stupid chest X-ray that needed to be done to clear it with the FDA over here. sorry, the CDC, not FDA, CDC, saying
Mhm.
that he's not contagious and he's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Yep.
And that was it. However, for me, I feel like it was a little bit delayed. And I decided to call USCIS, do an info pass, got a call center representative. They tell me, oh my goodness, they're within the time. They should have got their green card by now, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, do you think? Eventually they send it. I think they received it. They got it, sorry, November 13th.
Awesome.
So that was one good news. The other news that I normally watch your show like religiously, like a podcast for myself when I work, and I've heard
Nice.
some people have some difficulties with their I-90, and I want to share that I had difficulties finding my mom. However, my parent did had a visitor's visa to this country 10 years ago, and her I-90, upon entering the country this year, July 28th, was found on her oldest passport number.
I mean, I think you mean I-94.
Her I-94. Yes, my
Yeah.
bad. My apologies. Not very good at this.
No, you're doing great. So you're saying you're calling to give everybody the tip that if you have a hard time looking up your old I-94, maybe use your old passport number, not your.
Use all the passport you ever had to find it, and that is what exactly I had to do,
Awesome.
which was kind of weird. Because her new immigrant visa obviously isn't a new passport, but I never realized that the I-94 carried a number that anytime you enter and exit the country, that is now I anytime she enters and exit the country, that is the passport I have to use to pull up her I-94. It will never be on the new ones.
Got it.
And that passport is 10 years old.
That's great. I'm glad you found it. Good job.
I know, right? It was some brainstorming, but
Yeah.
it took a minute. But I just want to share that with our viewers that might be struggling just like myself.
Thanks for the call.
I have one more question concerning a friend.
Okay.
He sponsored his parents as well, and everything went through. But now he's looking back, and there was a mistake on his form, which he did not click the option where child born to parent that was not married at the time of birth. However, everything went through smooth sailing, and they have their green card. Would that be any question in the long run?
No. You mean
Okay.
he just made a mistake?
Yeah, but
Were they married? Were they married when he was born, or were they not married when he was born?
they were, according to how he said, they were religiously married, and years later they got married legally.
Yeah, I don't think I'd worry about this.
Okay. Yeah,
Maybe.
I appreciate
Maybe it might be an issue though. Yeah, I'd be ready to explain it.
Well, here's the funny part. They already got their green card.
Oh, okay. All
So
right,
that's
great.
what I'm saying. If it should he be worried?
I don't think so.
All right. I appreciate you, Jim. You have a good night. Take care.
Okay, you too. Thanks for the call.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, N400 is here. Hello.
Hi, Jim. Good
How
afternoon.
you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. So, I went through my N400 November 14th.
How'd it go?
I got approved on the spot.
Nice.
Yeah, got approved on the spot, and then I applied for the passport. I got it yesterday. So
Oh, congrats. That was
yeah.
fast.
Yeah,
Did you pay for Expedite?
No, it was just regular.
Nice. Yeah, I actually think most people I know who pay for Expedite regret it because it goes really slow.
Yeah, it was really fast. The question I had now is that for my wife's case, it's still pending, and I'm trying to figure out what could be wrong. I don't know.
Where is your wife?
My wife is with me. We live together.
Oh, she filed for Nats too?
Yeah, because I got my green card via employment, so she got hers, and I filed for mine. Her card back then in 2019 came 3 weeks later, but we filed together. I filed 31st of July. She filed 3rd of August. But hers is still pending. So I'm just.
Has she had an interview?
No, not yet. They haven't scheduled an interview. That's the issue.
It's funny because usually 9 times out of 10 the female goes faster than the male.
I was just surprised that I got this.
What field office?
San Francisco.
Yeah, dude, they're just busy. I wouldn't worry about it.
Oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to know if there was anything I should do, but yeah, it still feels surreal.
August is still only 5 months ago, right?
Yeah, about 130 days, I think it said.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Okay.
Congrats. Thanks for the call.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Bye. Yeah. Bye-bye. Oh, it's good to get some good news. Pal is here. Hello.
Hey, Jay. How are you?
Good. You're not driving, are you?
I am. I can pull over if you give me a minute.
Yeah, I'll come back to you. I'll come back next. Angie's back. Angie, you got that
Hi.
mic working?
Yes.
How you doing?
Good. How are you? So
Good.
I
What's
don't know
up?
if you remember my case or not. It was taken 4 years and we still didn't get the K-1 visa.
Okay.
And we finally got it. So he's coming over.
Oh, that's
He'll
great.
he'll be here soon. What I wanted to know is if from the United States, because of Trump coming in office, do we file the marriage right away and do the green card thing right away?
I would say whether Trump comes or not, I mean, he is coming, but whether he was coming or not, I would say, yeah. Why would you wait given how slow they are?
Well, I said that there's no sense in like putting the date off further when we can do it right away. We've been waiting for almost 5 years anyway.
Yeah,
So
and if nothing else, that's going to get him his work card a whole lot faster.
that's what they said. It kind of comes in hand. Is that correct?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say that. I would say if you get married, when's he coming?
He'll be here on the 30th.
Of December?
Yes,
Yeah, so I'd get married in January and then
that's what we're doing.
yeah, then apply. He'd probably get his work card. I mean, I don't know how much things will slow down under Trump, but his work card will probably come in 4, 5, 6 months.
Okay, but like, say if the pastor, because the pastor had us set for a different date because he was supposed to come so much sooner and then it
Oh,
didn't
sure.
happen.
Right.
So if the pastor can't do it on the date that we want it and we have to push it off past the 20th, is that going to hurt us in any way, shape, or form?
No, I don't think anything's going to happen that fast.
Okay, so it won't hurt us if Trump comes in the office. It won't hurt us right away.
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all I needed to know. And I
Congrats.
just
Thanks for
wanted
the
you
good
to know
news.
that good news.
I'm glad
Thank
it
you.
is good news. All right, see ya. 5 years. Can you imagine waiting 5 years for your fucking fiance to come to the United States? It's ridiculous. Pal, hello.
Hey Jim, I pulled over. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Okay, so let's say Jack and his wife have been happily married. Jack has a conditional green card, and Jack is about to get a new job offer just before filing the I-751, and it's in a different state. Would it be detrimental to Jack if he took up this job offer, moved to a different state from his wife just before filing the I-751?
No, I don't think so. I mean, when is the 751 due? What's the 2-year anniversary? And then when's the move?
So for Jack, I think his green card date is, I think, April. He got his first green card, or May or June, something around that time, and then he's gonna take up the new job offer potentially in January.
So before the 90 days?
Yeah, I mean, does that? Yes, before the 90 days. Yeah, let's say that.
Okay. So whenever I have videos on this topic, but whenever a couple lives apart, there's always 3 questions. One is, can we demonstrate a business necessity? Number 2 is, what are the efforts that are being made to see each other as often as possible, even though we're separated? And the third is, what is the long-term plan to be together? So what would Jack say about those questions?
So what was the first point again, please?
Can we demonstrate a business reason? Like, is Jack going to double his salary or increase it? And does he have a job that has to be done in that place? Because like one time I had a guy say, I need to live apart from my wife so I can drive for Uber. And I'm like, well, dude, they have Uber where you live. There's no reason why you have to live apart, right?
Okay, so for point 1, it's just a better opportunity for Jack. Potentially his salary is going to go up, so it's just, and the Jack and his wife have a mutual understanding, and they understand this is very temporary. When I say temporary, I mean because Jack's wife is going to school, so she will make the move either within 6 months if she can transfer credits, or 2.5 years, one or the other. That research hasn't been done yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where we're at.
Okay, and then the middle question was, how would we demonstrate that Jack and his wife spend as much time as possible together? Like, how are they? Is it really, really far from one place to another? Are they going to be able to actually see each other on a regular basis? What's it going to look like?
So Jack would be potentially relocating to Idaho. His wife is in Ohio, but Jack will make every effort whenever he gets time off or use all his vacation to go meet his wife.
So that sounds like lawyer BS, every effort. I want to know, how often are they going to be coming? Is she going to come see him? I mean, Idaho's the freaking middle of nowhere. So what's it going to look, if you had to predict, what's it going to look like? How often are they going back and forth to see each other?
I mean, it would be anytime Jack gets a vacation, really. Like, so let's say Jack gets vacation for 4 weeks a year or something, that will all be used going to meet his wife.
Okay. Again, you're answering it like a lawyer. What I want to know is, how often are you going to go see her? You're going to see her once every 6 months? You're going to see her once a month? You're going to see her every 2 months? Is she going to come see? Are you going to alternate months? What do you think it's going to look like?
1 week every 3 months.
That's not so great. I don't like that so much.
But this is happening, Jim, this is happening just before filing the I-751. Like, up to this point, Jack and his wife have been living together happily in the same apartment.
Yeah, but so have a lot of couples that the marriage is falling apart and the one leaves, right? So I understand what you're saying. And obviously it's better. I mean, a 751 is easier to get approved than a I-130 485. But at the same time, this is if you can't demonstrate that this is like a slam dunk, if Jack can't demonstrate that this is like a slam dunk easy, he's doubling his salary to go live in the remote areas of Idaho. I mean, they're going to think that something's wrong with the marriage if they're going to see each other 4 times a year.
I mean, but it's not in, wouldn't you agree this isn't in Jack's or his wife's control, really, in the event that Jack can't just leave work when he doesn't get time off work, and his wife is, stuck in Ohio because she can't skip school? You see how it's a very binding, or they're.
So again, if the person is doubling, if Jack's doubling his salary, that's one thing. If Jack's getting another $5,000 to go live in Idaho, then I think I think all these things sort of fit together. I think 6 months of a separation is vastly different than 2.5 years. So I think with each one, they're all little levers that either make the case more believable or less. And I hate to say it, I think that some officers would say to themselves, if I love my spouse and I want to be together, then 4 times a year ain't going to be enough, no matter how good the job is.
No, obviously then, I mean, Jack has an interview coming next week about this job, so should Jack just not really bother? And because now from what you're telling me, now it's turning into a potential risk. And for Jack and his wife, the first priority is staying together, happily married in the United States, and having a family. That's literally number one. Nothing will overcome that. But also, if an opportunity comes around for Jack, it's beneficial for the family as well. So it's kind of like, what do we do? What would you recommend? Like, should Jack pursue this or just let it go?
So I'm just the immigration attorney. So all I care about is filing the strongest case possible. So of course I'm going to say Jack should stay where he is and look for other jobs where he lives. If what Jack says is true, that they want to be together as much as possible and build a family in the United States, that's going to be really hard if they're only seeing each other 4 weeks a year for 2.5 years.
That is true. Yeah. Okay. I had a second question, but I understand what you're saying. Do you have any other comments regarding the first question, like any advice you can provide? Because my wife, or Jack's wife, I should say, is going to see this.
Is going to see this? Yeah. No. I just think, again, sort of like I said to I don't know, I think you were watching earlier, but I think, when you have a partner, when someone has an immigration status that isn't citizenship, and they have all these competing interests, having the best job possible, living together and being together, getting their immigration status cleaned up and nailed down. Here's a whole other reason. We haven't even talked about the one other reason why this is a bad plan. Do you know what it is?
I'm actually really curious. What could it be? I actually don't know.
My brother, your friend Jack, is a year away from being able to apply for citizenship. If Jack goes and lives in Idaho and only gets 1 week every 3 months to see his spouse, then that's going to break that 3 years, and he's going to have to wait the full 5 years to apply for citizenship. So if what Jack is saying is true, that the most important thing is to be together and build a life and a family here, I would say, if I'm Jack, I suck it up for a year, get my citizenship on file, get that nailed down, and then I can go live and work wherever I want, inside or outside the United States. And now that we've talked it all through, to me, that might even be the tipping point. Jack has 2 solid years of living with his spouse, and the Biden team made it so that like I've had cases like you're asking right now approved for citizenship, but they won't approve those cases anymore where the spouse, you have to live together in marital union for the full 3 years in order for that rule to apply.
And with Trump coming in, he's gonna pretty much make it much more difficult. Like if Trump finds out,
I think at the least he's going to keep it exactly the same, right? So at the least, so even if we don't know if this is something that Trump's going to mess with, let's say that we don't even know that. Even without that, going to live in Idaho is going to add at least 2 more years to Jack to apply for citizenship, if the scenario persists.
okay. I mean, Jack has an interview next week. He's still gonna go for it, but go for the interview, just to be clear. But after this, and Jack will obviously show this call to his wife. Probably not gonna take this job, even if a job offer is presented. We'll see where it goes, and then.
Awesome.
I think this is tremendously helpful. Like the advice you provide to people is like beyond helpful. May I ask my second question? I'll try to be quick on this.
Yeah, you're gonna be my last caller, so go for it.
Okay. For the I-751, so Jack and his wife have a shared bank account. It was opened a long time ago. They both have debit cards to this account. But the only transactions that have been happening in this account have been for paying Jack's credit card and for paying rent and utility bills and like electricity, gas, water, all that stuff. But only for Jack's credit card. I don't know if the statements clearly show this, but should that be provided as evidence for the 751 or no?
Okay, so Jack and Jill are husband and wife. They've been married for 2 years. Jack and Jill do have a joint bank account, or they do not?
They have a joint bank account, and each of them have a debit card to said joint account.
Okay, and do Jack or Jill's paychecks go into the joint account?
Indirectly, yes. Can I explain?
Sure.
So Jack,
dude, you sound like a lawyer, man. Indirectly, I mean, that's like my favorite answer. It depends, but go ahead. Indirectly, we got you. I'm ready for it.
I'm actually an engineer, but no. So Jack gets his check in a.
I mean, Jack's an engineer.
Jack, yeah, sorry, Jack is an engineer. So Jack gets his check in a, let's call it Bank of America account, and then he breaks up his income into different accounts. So he zells it to different bank accounts, and one of them is the account which is shared between Jack and Jill. Does that make sense?
And that account has the Jack and Jill's home address as the address for that account?
Yes, I believe so.
And that account is used to pay, like you said, rent and sort of big family things?
Yeah, rent, electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Utilities.
but it's also used to pay Jack's credit card, none of Jill's credit cards, but Jack makes sure like the rent and all is taken care of using that account. So I don't know. My point is like I don't know if Jack like USCIS would look at those transactions as somewhat sketchy or whatnot because
No, that's good. That's good marriage evidence.
Okay, perfect. Then I can present that. That's perfect. And we'll also take screenshots of our debit cards and with our names on it, and also
You mean
provide
Jack?
that for
You mean Jack and Jill?
Yeah, Jack and Jill. Sorry.
Thanks, pal. Good luck, buddy.
All right, thanks, man. Thank you.
Call of the week. See you, bud.
See ya.
Later. All right, everybody. Well, we went a little bit long. I enjoyed it. And I'm glad we went long. I just used up my whole data plan. I'm getting alerts from Verizon that I've maxed out. Jim has used up his 30 gigs. I don't know when the new billing cycle starts. I'll have to get some more. All right, guys. Have a great night. Maybe tomorrow we're going to be sitting around a lot. Maybe I'll do a pop-up show from the stadium. Otherwise, I might just chill and maybe read my book. Yeah, it was a great show, Matt. It was a good one. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll see you soon. Matt, I hope you're being safe. Big up to all the Yardies. Hooli, thanks for your help. Hina, thanks for being here. Good night, everybody. I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are